Feminists were wrong. That's a sentence that you wouldn't expect me to say, but nonetheless, every theory and every political movement had made its fair share of mistakes. That doesn't mean that it is flawed altogether or it's wrong from the beginning, but it means that we should reflect on ourselves and not go through life blindly believing in one thing. If we actually care about liberation, we need to think and reflect what went wrong, what were the mistakes that have been done, and what can be adjusted or made better. So today I want to discuss what I call, in my opinion, some mistakes or deviation from feminism, using some of the books that I've read and liked to aid my reflection. To start with, let's talk about the girl boss trap and the connection between feminism and capitalism. The biggest mistake, in my opinion, was the marriage between capitalism and feminism. Once, feminism was all about gaining back power and having equality between sexes. Now it's women being in power, being the CEO, buying their way out into being the best by buying some skincare routines that will make them more successful or better in life. We've been told that if we got the right shade of lipstick or if we took the correct course, we are going to be empowered, we're going to be in control. But is that empowerment? Or is it just another type of exploitation for women's needs? Silvia Federici warns us in her book Revolution at the Point Zero, which we've talked about before in a different video, that when feminism and capitalism get too close together, we are at the risk of making feminism another product to be sold. And she says, and I quote, "Feminism had given women a voice, and capitalism have taken this voice and convinced us to buy it again from them." That hits very close because now empowerment became a type of consumerism. You will be empowered if you got that brand or that specific product, or if you did a specific activity that is associated with consuming more and more. Also, Naomi Wolf had discussed this issue in her book when she said, yes, women now can vote, yes, they have power, but they are still pushed to be skinny and beautiful on your way there. In this way, maybe feminists were wrong by thinking that they can fight the system within the system by being the most beautiful, the most educated, and the most capable, the most hardworking woman, just to get little bit of their rights, just to be seen or recognized as an equal to their male counterparts. Another issue that should be discussed is white feminism, which was the early feminism that we have known of. It's believing that feminism is a one structure that fits all, which was a mistake that was made at the early time of feminist culture. Yes, it got women lots of rights, but it got white, cisgender, and middle class women rights. But at that time, women who were colored or disabled or different in their ethnicity had no voice for them and did not get any rights whatsoever. Still today, yes, things have changed, but we are still stuck within the idea that feminism is just one structure that should fit all. But we are different women from different cultures and backgrounds, and having one structure to fit everyone can be extremely unfair. Kimberly Crenshaw gave us a very important word to describe what is happening, which is intersectionality, which means that we have to understand that different levels of oppression can intersect and interlap. Just being a woman, which is a sort of oppression, cannot deny the human being of other sorts of oppression, like being of different ability or being of different religion or ethnicity, which all of them just relap levels and levels of pure oppression against women, but from different perspectives. Bill Hawkes, a very important theorist, feminist, says feminism is for all. But if we scroll on internet online or on Instagram, we wouldn't see that much diversity when it comes to spaces that holds feminism. Still, until today, we would see a specific sort of feminism, and there would be no tolerance for differences among women. So maybe feminism was a little bit behind on the idea that progress for some women is progress for all. And I would like to add that if we are not all liberated, no one is liberated. Missing the joy. And this one is extremely important for me. And I think it's one of the most important aspects that can bring feminism back. What do I mean by missing the joy? Actually, we can go back to Saraz Ahmed's feminist killjoy, which there is a video about if you are interested in checking her out, to understand that being a feminist doesn't mean that you have to be angry all of the time. It doesn't mean that you would hate men and want them to suffer in life. It means that you are a woman who's seeking to have her rights. You're seeking to defend yourself and your peers. That doesn't mean that you have to stop enjoying your life. That doesn't mean that we have to get depressed about the situation or stop believing that there will be change or stop doing those tiny initiatives that can make a difference. Even if it's not a big difference, it's not going to save lives, but at least it's going to give some perspective to others about the lives and problems of women. As Sarah Ahmed mentioned in her book, we should ruin the parties. We should start stopping the misogynistic jokes. We should put people on their place. We shouldn't be silenced, or we shouldn't just be okay with the most basic and minimum rights. So after all, feminism is not just about theories, as some people believe, or it's not just some people talking and writing articles that is not going to make any change, but it is those tiny micro changes that you can do in your everyday practices that are going to make a huge change. Let's not forget we occupy half of this world, and if each one of us made those tiny micro differences in her life, things are going to change. Feminism is not a brand. Now this one might get a bit offensive for some people, but nowadays feminism is becoming a cute brand that people are carrying around, as long as it's not too messy, as long as it doesn't push the boundaries of society, it doesn't mess with patriarchy, it doesn't demand too much, it just demands the basic minimal things, then feminism is very, very cute. But feminism is not cute. Feminism is about human rights, it's about women's rights. It doesn't have to be polite, and it doesn't have to be agreeable, especially not agreeable to patriarchy. It has to be loud, it has to be heard, it has to be assertive. It has to show others that we exist, we are human beings, we're not toys, that we are not just extra actors within the societal norms, within these societies that we are living in. But most people are settling for a tiny bit of feminism, tiny bits of right, minimal as possible, just if we're not harmed is enough, and let's put it in a package that is pink, maybe with a bow, and it would be good enough. But it's not good enough. If we don't demand more, we will not get more. The less you demand, the less you get. If you do not demand the highest level of respect, if you do not demand equal rights, for some people it will be the highest level of rights, you are not getting anything. So what's now? Feminism is dead, it's flawed, it's full of issues. Actually, no. Feminism is full of issues, it's flawed like any other theory. But we are still here, and we are people who are going to develop and change what is need to be changed. Actually, the future of feminism is intersectional, imaginative, and unfinished. We are not finished yet. We haven't gotten our rights yet. Feminism is not done. We need people like Sarah Ahmed, we need people like Bill Hawks, we need people to have conversation, not to be afraid to talk about these issues, not to be afraid to express themselves in a conversation just like this one. Because when we have those hard conversations, when we are here to admit what was wrong with what we are saying or what we are doing, it is the moment when we start evolving to the best. So, I'm going to leave you with this quote which I really like for Audre Lorde when she says, "The master tool will never dismantle the master house." So let's just get new tools, let's build our new house, let's make a difference. Where do you think feminism got it wrong? Tell me what is your point of view, and do you agree or disagree with me? Actually, I prefer that you disagree with me. Let's have an honest, fresh conversation. Let's talk to each other and let's try to see eye to eye. And there are already 2 videos about the beauty myth and revolution of the point zero. Both of them, I will link them down below. If you are interested and would like to check them out, go ahead. And of course, like, share, subscribe if you find this interesting, if it made your brain wonder, if you are thinking, if you feel that this is the right place for you. Until next time, see you.